Hey y'all, so I randomly stumbled upon this happening a few days ago. Over 16,000 tribute in one map, and I'm talking post-031 tower changes without triple quad tower juicing. Usual disclaimer, I'm not a streamer, just sharing things from a Mid Gamer SSF perspective. Ideally I would have figured it all out before sharing, but no time, real life, so hopefully someone picks this up and min-maxes it fully for the community. Though I know the Major League hype is past due, but I'm still seeing some new YouTube videos pop up, so maybe like Dead Rabbit or ones in the chat can figure it out. I'll just leave my gear up while I yap, all self-crafted so you can see the midness, except maybe the rings where RNG has shined on me, but I've bricked 2+2 melee gloves with my only ever 2 perfect results hitting accuracy. And I'll point out no IIR just to play devil's advocate to the recent rarity hubbub. I've seen the Crypt, Farnham, Dead Rabbit, etc. videos. That's the beauty of the game. It's just the way I play, because I generally never feel FOMO. But I think this works with Ritual, because as far as I know, rarity doesn't affect Ritual favors. And check out my previous vid for the armor crafting completely on a meager budget. But it was good enough for my fairly standard flicker build, except for aside from the slight trample tool variation. And this was good enough to dive into the crazy dense mobs in Abyss and not die on these T15 6 modded Guild and Stove maps. Apologies for the laggy mapping footage later, but this is a known problem with Abyss. I just flicker and pray I come out on the other side with enough latency to dodge roll. Anyways, TLDR, Abyss plus Ritual. But I think most importantly, aside from the typical strategies of choosing pack size and speccing the Atlas for more explicit mods / Precursor Tablet effect, the waystone needs to be desecrated with a prefix mod. Abyss spawns some percentage of increased monsters, and this can get up to 100%. Now, I've never done any sort of juicing or min-maxing like this before. I'm just a D4 refugee playing POE2 slow gaming movement style, like the slow food movement. That is, enjoying the journey and all the flavors. But I stumbled upon some crazy confluence of RNG that resulted in this huge amount of tribute, and I've been trying to replicate it, though I've only been able to do so partially. Because I'm no streamer, just a SSF mid-gamer, so hopefully someone sees this that can min-max it for the community. Unfortunately, I didn't video capture the full map with 16,000 tribute. Sometimes I just take screenshots of things for reference, so I'll just play some background footage of one of the subsequent test maps after I had partially figured out the mechanics for a decently high score. I think I got to around 10k. I didn't even fully realize how crazy the 16,000 was until I surveyed a bunch of other YouTube videos. Check out the links in the description, which are very good if you want to learn the mechanics of Ritual, like Run Array, Spud the King, ones in the chat. And from their vids, something like 1k in the first Ritual and 5 to 10k total is pretty decent. But I got over 2k in my first Ritual and over 16k by the end. The final number would have been even higher by about 800, except I deferred a couple items after the first Ritual. And I also saw another Matt Justic video where one of his friends got around 16 or 17k, but that was pre-031 with, multiple tower juicing and no Abyss mechanics because it was bugged back then. Getting into the nitty-gritty here, I tried running another Abyss plus Ritual map right after, but it resulted in a normal amount of tribute, like 3 to 5k, which was confusing at first. Luckily, one of my screenshots from the 16,000 run showed the map mods, so I hit tab on the low tribute run and compared the mod pools, and the major difference I could see was the mod Abyss spawns increased monsters. So I tried desecrating a bunch of waystones and eventually figured out that it's a prefix mod. Thus, instead of burning waystones unnecessarily, I found a bunch of 5 modded waystones that had open prefix mods or X slammed up to 5 mods, so the desecration would not hit the suffix. Just for reference, after about 20 waystones, I hit 3 with the mod Abyss Spawns Increased Monsters, versus, for example, 1 with the coveted Abyss Overrun mod. Thus, it's not super rare, but also not so common that I would bank on it every time. For example, if it were very common, or if you had a lot of currency, ideally you would hit a 5 or 6 mod waystone with the pack size Omen, and then Desecrated, or use the Sinestral Necromancy Omen to target the prefix, and then Instill a Guild for more pack size. And you can use the Abyssal Echoes Omen when you're desecrating, but again, you know, SSF Mid Gamer here, so I'm just working with what I got. In my post 16,000 testing, I got up to about 10k with just the Abyss Spawns Increased Monsters mod and Instilling Guild. The other mod I thought might work is the one where the Abyss holes and cracks spawn increased monsters as magic, but this did not seem to be nearly as effective, though someone can do further testing. From my limited testing, contrary to the current meta of maxing res reducing, that doesn't appear to substantially affect the spawns from the Abyss, whereas mods, for ritual at least, whereas mods that affect the Abyss monsters as they spawn, like pack size and increased Abyss monsters, seems to work. Again, further testing required. And looking at the Ritual Atlas passives, I was generally running the standard tree. However, I do think someone could really test the effectiveness of these other nodes, as the current ritual meta seems to be to run a certain setup to defer a lot of favors, and then switch to another setup to buy them all up. Thus, for example, perhaps specking the Atlas with these other nodes, where you have, I don't know, the Wisp, which grants you increased tribute, or just generating more mobs. Maybe that would actually increase the amount of tribute generated. Then you could respec the Atlas for better re-rolling and deferring and buying. And next, in terms of the tablets, again, I just slotted in what I had, but I think ideally you'd want the Ritual Tablet with the mod Slain Monsters give increased tribute. I think I may have had one tablet with 18% or something, so surely someone could do better. And then I also use the unique Ritual Tablet for double rerolls, and I learned from the YouTube videos that generally you want to get the map up to level 80 to get the nice purple omens. So either the map should already boss empowered, and you have that passive node that grants +1 level, or you use an irradiated tablet, something with pack size, I guess. Furthermore, if Spud the King is right in his video, Delirium Monsters increase tribute, which is good because you instill with Guilt for increased pack size anyways, but Breach doesn't. The chests / boxes count, but you can't drag monsters in. And to be honest, some waystones have that mod with increased packs of monsters, but I'm not sure if that contributes to tribute. Though I would think it does if those packs are pre-spawned in the ritual scroll. Again, something for someone to test. And that's all I can think of for now. Really hoping that someone with more time and investment can pick this up and really figure it out for the community. Anyway, happy hunting. Peace out.